Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will begin with the explanation of the letter Lr. Show you how it is written. I hope you can see it. So you have now learned A, I, U.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Please show that.
Yes.
How is that word? How is that letter written?
Yes. I did. Did you see it? Did you not see it? Yes.
Because of the glare, I couldn't see it.
Oh. What about now? Is it better?
Now it's okay. I can see it. R.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And you have now learned the letters A, I, U, R, Lr. And I will just explain a few of the meanings of Lr as a letter. As you know, all Sanskrit letters have their own range of meanings. This is only in Sanskrit and in Hebrew. Only these two languages have this phenomenon of letters having several meanings. Lr, among others, has the sense of sthanu, which means stable. Or it can also mean a pillar, because a pillar is something very stable. And in ancient India, we had this very famous example of confusion of the mind. Someone is walking in the evening, Sandhya Kala, which is the evening time, and sees some form in the forest. It looks like a man, and he's afraid. This could be a robber. It could be someone who is out to rob me. But in reality, it is a sthanu. It is some stump of wood that is standing there. Similarly, in our life, when we misunderstand things, when we understand something that is going to pass away, but we misunderstand it and we think it is something permanent, that is called confusion. So the word sthanu means something stable, something that is firm, like a pillar. Then Lr also means pure, shuddha. Like the mountain lakes in Switzerland, which are so pure that we can drink their water. Or in Rishikesh, in the right season, if you go a little further up to Lakshmanjula, where the Ganga flows into Rishikesh, Ganga Vahati, Ganga flows into Rishikesh, Rishikeshe. There, the water is very pure and we can drink it. Then, the letter Lr also means medha. Medha means intelligence. And it's a special type of intelligence. It's the intelligence that retains what it has learned. So in ancient Sanskrit culture, Indian culture, we had different types of intelligence. For instance, prajna or prajna has the sense of yathartha drishti or yathartha knowledge, knowing things as they are. So if you understand the stump of wood to be a sthanu and not a human, not a robber of whom you have to be scared, that means you have prajna. Whereas medha is the type of intelligence that retains what it has learned. The older we get, somehow mysteriously, medha decreases. I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but I can see it with myself, and therefore I always try to make it a point to continue to learn Sanskrit verses by heart, even as I get older. I used to say I try to learn one per day, a new verse, but now it is maybe one every 3-4 days. And over Christmas, with all the festivities, I haven't learned any at all, so that's not good. But it's a good way to train the mind, to train medha. What might be interesting for you is that chess is a very good way of training medha. If you play a little bit of chess every day or once in a while, it makes the mind continue to memorize and learn. Also, games like Sudoku are said to train medha. Then, Lr also has the sense of the sky, Vyat, something very vast, very broad. Then, one of our friends who learned Sanskrit among the children, I think it is Prisha, but I'm not sure, has a brother named Rudra. And Lr also is one of the meanings of Rudra, or the other way. Rudra is one of the meanings of Lr. Then, one of our very well-known participants is Mahendra Pankhania. He is one of our good friends in the UK, and Lr, in fact, also means Mahindra. So, in the future, Sangeeta ji no longer has to use his full name. She can just say, Lr. Lr did this and Lr said that. There are many more meanings, but I'll just give you 2 more. One is Chandrika, which is the light of the moon. Very beautiful. Other words also have that meaning, other Sanskrit words, and such as Kaumudi is a very famous one. So, the last meaning I want to share with you is Kala, which is time. Krishna in the Gita says that I am Kala. Kalaha asmi. Asmi means I am. Kalaha asmi. I am time, which consumes everything. If you closely observe, every moment of our experience is determined by time. Either there is a minute of time or a shorter part of a minute, half a minute, or 20 seconds, or 10 seconds, or 1 second. Every moment passes away. So, we do not need to be afraid of time, because time is Krishna himself. You see, it's something very beautiful to remember. When we feel loss, or we feel Kala gacchati, time is passing, time is going, we don't have to be afraid of it. Because the time itself is the divine. Time is the divinity. Something very beautiful to remember. And also, you can take a lot of time, Mahakala, which then is Shiva, the great time. You can take a lot of time to do your duties, if you do them one at a time. This is what I have time and again found out, that when we do things one at a time, rather than trying to do everything together, then it is much, much easier to complete them. So now you've learned some of the meanings, and I hope you also learn the meanings of these words, such as medha, very important word. Now, if you remember, we were working on the sandhis. Sandhi means when two vowels or two consonants come together, something happens. And I'll just remind you, for instance, when the word sundari, which means beauty, someone who is beautiful, is followed by the word Ishvara, the Lord, then it becomes Sundarishvara. The two E's merge into one E. Similarly, when the word Guru is followed by Uttama, which means the topmost, the supreme, it becomes Guruttama. The two U merge together. Just reminding you. And the two A's also merge together. And something ending in A, such as yoga, followed by Ishvara, becomes Yogeshvara. So an A and an E become E. And similarly, an A followed by U, Purusha, Uttama, becomes Purushottama. Now, last time we also learned what happens when a word ends in I but is followed by A. And that's a little more tricky. This is one which some of my very regular Sanskrit students also sometimes forget. And it is very interesting that when you read a shloka, sometimes this sandhi is missed because it is not so common. When an I is followed by A, the I is replaced by Ya. So, Hari followed by Atma becomes Haryatma. Ruchi, which means light or lustre, or also liking something, taste, flavor. Ruchi, and Anta, which means end, then becomes, I want to ask one of you, maybe Renukaji, would you like to try? Ruchi, Anta. Or someone else, would you like to try?
Ruchant.
No. Ruchyanta.
Ruchiyanta.
Yes, very important. And this is one of the sandhis that are often missed. That when people see this ya in a shloka, they think, what is this? And they think for a long time. So you have to remember, I followed by a becomes ya. So ruchi, anta, ruchyanta. And for instance, we have Aditi, very beautiful name. Aditi means she who has no bondage, who is not bound by anything. And if we want to say Aditi Atma, then what will that be?
E or yeah.
Adhyatma.
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 No, not Adhyatma. No. Aditi Atma. Again.
Adityatma.
Exactly. Adityatma. And that has nothing to do with Aditya. You see? Aditya is another word which is related to Aditi. But when you see Adityatma, you have to think, oh, long time ago, the Taklu in the red dress reminded us of I followed by A becomes Ya. Very important. And all my Sanskrit students, they know this again and again. Even after years, they have to be reminded of this. And similarly, Guru, the letter U followed by A, or any other vowel actually, becomes Va. So like I becomes Ya, U becomes Va. So then, Guru plus Atma, Gurvatma. Very important to remember this. So, if I can ask one of you, what would be Guru plus Amita? Guru plus Amita. Amita means unlimited.
Gurvamita.
Gurvamita, exactly. And you see, that looks very strange, isn't it? Gurvamita, it doesn't even look like Sanskrit. But sometimes that happens with Sandhi. Very important to remember. So now today, I will teach you one more Sandhi that is extremely important and is so common. And this is Visarga. Visarga is the H sound that is represented by two dots in the Sanskrit script, and, for instance, is found in the word Namah. Namah means obeisance or homage, and is found in the first case when you say Ramah, or you say Ishvara, or Krishna. This is called Visarga. Now, when a Visarga is followed by a soft consonant, and it is very easy to know what a soft consonant is, you just need to see, do you need to apply a lot of energy or not? For instance, the consonant Ka requires a lot of energy. Ka or Pa or even Ba requires a lot of energy, whereas Da is soft, Ma is soft, La is soft, Ga is soft. Very easy to remember this. When a Visarga is followed by a soft consonant, the Visarga is replaced by O. And don't worry, we'll send you this. This is the reason why Namo Namah is such a common phrase. It is not Namah Namah, it is Namo Namah. Because Na is a soft consonant that follows the Visarga in Namah. Now I want to ask one of you, what would happen if the word Rama, which means Rama, is followed by Mahalakshmi? Rama followed by Mahalakshmi.
Ramo Mahalakshmi.
Exactly. Ramo Mahalakshmi. Similarly, if the word Krishna is followed by Mahindra, Then, anyone? Krishno Mahindra. And now, the fascinating thing is, there are no Sanskrit words that end in or, except some very few exceptions. Most Sanskrit words, 90% of Sanskrit words that end in or in some shloka is always just the visarga. So whenever you see the or somewhere, Namo Namaste, Namo, oh, or, then you just remember, the Taklu from Switzerland said, most Sanskrit words that end in or are anyway visarga. Let me just check, could this be Namah? Very important rule to remember. And I sometimes wish that my teacher initially had told me this, because it's very easy to remember this rule. The Sanskrit word is ending in or, probably it is visarga. All right, can you remember this rule? So now we have a few minutes left. You will remember we were practicing vocabularies with cases. You already learned the 7 cases, but of course we need to practice them again and again. A reminder, the 7th case, which is called locative in English, means in or within something, inside something, and in the a ending words becomes e. So, if you want to say, my joy is in Rama. The word for joy, I think most of you might know from your mother tongue. Those who are not Indian origin will not know the word, but there is a wonderful dictionary which I will share here in the chat.
Will it be Mama Anande Rama?
No, careful. Now you got it ulta. You got it the other way around. Not Mama Anande, but
Mama?
you have to say, my joy is in Rama. So,
Mama Ananda Rame.
exactly. Mama means my, Ananda, joy, Rame, in Rama. Yes? So here I'm going to share, this is very important now. This is a dictionary called spokensanskrit.org. If I can request you to open this for a moment. It is very well done. Whoever did it really should be praised. They have combined most of the important Sanskrit dictionaries in the world and put it all in one platform, and in a very practical way, where, for instance, you can type the word joy into the section, then you go translate, and it gives you the word Ananda, and all the many other words as well. You see, Sanskrit has many, many words, but Ananda is right there. Or Sukham is also there. But also, my dears, the other way round. If you saw a Sanskrit word and you want to find out its meaning and you type Ananda into, then it gives you all the options to choose from, and then you can see, oh, there is Ananda, and you click on it and it gives you the meaning joy. This is a wonderful dictionary. And it is not, initially when I saw this dictionary, I thought, oh, it is, some few hundred words or something. Then I realized they have included, fascinatingly, some 600,000 words. So this is a tremendous resource for Sanskrit students. Yes? Please use this. So now, before we go to the meditation, one more practice. I see, the verb for I see Pashyati, pashyami. I see my face in the mirror. Would anyone like to try?
Mama. Mama mukham darpane pashyami.
Exactly. Mama mukham, my face. Darpane, in the mirror. Locative. Pashyami, I see. And maybe one more locative. The rabbits are running fast in the forest. Now you have to use the plural form, not dhavati, which is one rabbit, shashah dhavati. You have to say shashah dhavanti, the plural. And where are they running? Would someone like to try? In the forest?
Vane.
Vane.
Vane. So shashah vane dhavanti.
Shasha vane dhavanti.
Exactly. And now we want to add they're running fast.
Shigram.
Shigram. So shashah vane shigram dhavanti. Very easy. And then we will practice the fifth case as well, which is the ablative and has the opposite meaning. It means from something. So for instance, vrikshah, the tree, vrikshat, from the tree. Phalam, patati, the fruit is falling from the tree. And imagine one day you climb a tree and you fall from the tree, which I hope doesn't happen to any one of you. Then you will not say patati, you will say for the first person, patami. So would someone like to say, I fall from the tree in Sanskrit?
Aham vrikshat patami.
Aham vrikshat, from the tree, patami. And if you want to say that I am going from the forest, if you want to say I am going from the forest.
You're not audible.
Yes, someone muted me. So if you want to say I am going from the forest, then you will say
Aham vanat
vanat
gachami.
gachami. And supposing one day, and these are just fantasies, they are not real. Supposing one day you run from your house, griham. You run very fast from your house. How will you say that?
Aham
Grihat
shigram
from gachati.
dhavam.
Dhavami. Dhavami. So now you have quite successfully learnt the ti form, which is the third person, dhavati, gacchati, asti, vadati, kridati, etc. And you have learnt the first person, gacchami, bhavami, patami. Now, very important today, also remember there is the you form, the second person, gacchasi, tvam dhavasi, tvam khadasi. So at home, you can practice these three forms now with all the different words you have learned and with the different cases. Patati, patasi, patami. All right? And now we will begin with the meditation. Sarvesham Swastir bhavatu. We learned the meaning of swasti last time, which means well-being. And the second wish of the 8 auspicious wishes is Sarvesham Shantir bhavatu. May there be Shanti for everyone. Shanti is often translated as peace, but it comes from the root sham, which means to subside, to end. And therefore we need to ask the question, when we say Shanti, and it means actually the subsiding, the calming down of something, what is being calmed down? And the great commentators explain that Shanti actually means the calming down of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. It is the calming down of excessive desire, anger, self-centered delusion, pride, envy, and all the other emotions that come from these negative emotions. This is the grammarian known as Bharata. He explains Shanti in this sense. And it is very important also to know Shankaracharya's explanation. He says that Shanti means the coming to end, the ending, the cessation of the 3 types of obstacles. The Adi Bhautika obstacles, which are obstacles related to external nature, such as diseases brought about by nature, or storms, or natural catastrophes. So we could say that COVID is such a Adi Bhautika obstacle, and Shanti has the sense of bringing that obstacle to an end. And then there are the Adi Devika obstacles, which are obstacles related to astrology, subtle beings, subtle inner conditions. So for instance, when someone's astrological phase is such that they are always unlucky, or that there is always some inner trouble, then this is called an Adi Devika obstacle. And the second Shanti brings that to an end. And the third Shanti are the obstacles related to the innermost aspect of our being. Therefore, these are called the Adhyatmika obstacles. They are obstacles related to the mind, but also related to our spiritual progress. For instance, sometimes we simply don't see any meaning in spiritual practices or in spirituality itself, or we have some crisis of spirituality. That would be an Adhyatmika obstacle, and the third Shanti brings that to an end. Finally, before we begin our meditation, I also want to give you the definition of Shanti as given by the Buddhist master Nagarjuna. He defines Shanti as not being tarnished by the experiences of samsara, not being troubled too much by the experience of samsara. So no doubt we have to go through samsara, but Shanti means not to be too much caught up into by them. By accepting, yes, this is the nature of things. The nature of samsara is that there will always be some trouble, that there will always be some loss, There will always be some diseases, some difficulties, but not being caught up too much by them, and always aspiring towards nirvana, liberation, and not only for ourselves, but for others. That is his definition of Shanti. Very beautiful definition. So now you have learned 2 of the auspicious wishes. The first is Swasti. May there be true well-being for everyone in the form of blessings, sustenance, merit, and auspiciousness. Shanti. May there be true peace on all levels for everyone. May everyone's obstacles subside. May everyone's negative emotions be reduced. And may everyone attain mental calm through inner liberation.